The patient is more afraid than you ever will be. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Daily Sean. For those of you who haven't been here before, my name is Sean. I do a daily video on something related to nursing. No rhyme or reason. Probably not going to change. The patient is more afraid than you ever will be. I shared the #1 secret of all nurses many videos ago. The #1 secret that all nurses keep, all nurses of all walks of life at all stages in their career, the #1 secret that all nurses keep is that we're all afraid. We're all scared out of our minds. And we're all afraid for one reason or another. I don't think I need to explain all of the things that cause us to be a tad bit freaked out. There's all kinds of things that make us afraid, that make us scared. Everything from a new experience, a new job, talking with a scary physician or provider, that tough exam coming up, taking care of that combative patient, that sick patient, taking care of multiple patients. I don't think I need to explain how afraid we get and how easily we get afraid. Regardless of how fraidy cat we can get, I want you to remember that the patient is much more afraid than you are. The patient is having a much worse day than you are. Because, well, they're the patient and not the nurse. Even when the patient is a nurse, they're still the patient at that moment. Patient is way more afraid, they're way more scared than you are. They are going through probably the scariest moment in their lives, depending on what scenario we like to create. And most patients express their fear in very odd ways, meaning they don't just come out and say they're afraid. They usually will have behaviors that can be mildly intolerable. That patient that is screaming and yelling at you and throwing expletives at you, yeah, they're not mad at you per se, maybe. They're actually afraid of what's going on because they've lost control. The same patient that wants to dictate every single move you make, they are afraid and they're trying to maintain some level of control. The same patient that becomes combative and is spitting, kicking, throwing things, yep, they're afraid. They're afraid for many reasons. They could be afraid because they have no clue what's going on, because they're outside their mind. They could be afraid because they're confused. Or they could be afraid because, once again, they have lost control of the situation because their lives are in your hands. Today's message is simple. Regardless of how scared we get, we're not nearly as afraid as our patients. And in the greater scheme of things, I take comfort in knowing that I'm there helping somebody else through their fear. It kind of washes away my fear. It doesn't solve my problem, and as soon as I'm done caring for them in whatever manner I have to, yeah, I'm going to go right back to being afraid. But for the moment, temporary lapse, my patient's fear is way more important than my fear, and it gives me, even if it's temporary, it gives me a level of confidence. So from this point forward, no matter how afraid you get at whatever moment it happens, try and be there for your patient and their fear, because they're way more afraid than you are. When's the last time you actually were afraid as a nurse? When's the last time you were like, oh shit, I'm scared? Leave your comment down below. You know your comments are my caffeine. Share this with somebody. I have almost 100% confidence in knowing there are other nurses out there that are afraid of something. Share the vlog and pass it on. And as always, check your own pulse first.